Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel for my Q&A video. I have done Q&A videos before on my channel. I did one for when I reached 1,000 subscribers, which was about a year ago maybe, and I want to do another one now because I'm nearly at 2,000 subscribers, although knowing my luck it will probably take me a very long time to actually get there, or I'll get to 1,995 and it'll just completely stop there and that'll be it forever, knowing my luck. So I thought, well, I'll do it now anyway and just get it done. I do really like doing them as well. So I posted on my community page about a week ago asking you to give me questions for the video, and luckily you have. So thank you very much to everyone who did sending questions in the comments. I've got some on Twitter as well. Well, I've got two from Twitter, so I'll go through them. I was thinking maybe I should do this in 2 videos. It might take quite a while to get through, but I'll try and do it all in one and not talk for too much. So I'll start off with Twitter, and one of them is from a very good friend of mine, Alice. We're like besties. We went to Liverpool together, we went to the Amsterdam pre-party together, we went to the Caria concert in London together. So yeah, love Alice. And she did send me a question. Thank you very much. And it is, what is your favourite ever non-qualifier? It is Polygenova, Bulgaria 2011, Na Ingat. It might sound random to some people might have forgotten all about it and not even know that song, but I absolutely love it, and it's like one of my favourite all-time Eurovision songs ever, and it didn't even qualify, and I'm still waiting for it to go on Spotify. I've been waiting my whole life for this to actually go on to Spotify. But yeah, I just really like it. And of course, she did qualify in 2016. She came 5th, I think. I like both of her entries, but I really love this one, Na Ingat. And it does seem strange to me why it didn't qualify, because that year, 2011, is known for being a very weak year. So I didn't watch semi-finals back then, so maybe I should go back and watch them to discover what the competition was, what it was like in the semi-finals, and why this didn't qualify. Because if the standard wasn't high in the final, then surely that song could have made it. So yeah, I don't know why it didn't qualify, but I really like it. I always have. I have got others though. So 2015 is when I did start to watch semi-finals, and at that time I was obsessed with Iceland, Maria Olaf. It was called Unbroken. It didn't qualify, which it doesn't shock me now really, but at the time I really loved it. I think it was like the first Eurovision song that I properly became a fan of and that was when I started to become more of a fan of the contest and watching the semi-finals properly. So yeah, Iceland 2015 would be another one. And then in terms of more recent years, probably Iceland 2023, last year, with Power by Gilead. I still really like that as well. But the main one is definitely Bulgaria 2011. A question from Antoine on Twitter. What's your favourite Eurovision year? I have 2, and I think a lot of people would agree with this. First one is 2021, because, well, a few reasons. First of all, because of the winner. Zygia Bunny is like my favourite winner of all time, and pretty much my favourite entry of all time. And just the quality of music in general. It gave us Go A, Blind Channel, John's Tears, The Roop, all in one year. So yeah, it really does get remembered a lot for just the high standard of the music. And then also, I think the way it was hosted, the Netherlands did such a good job of hosting it in, under the circumstance of COVID. They still put on a really great show, and I think it will always be one to remember, definitely. But also, you've got 2023 in Liverpool, and this will be one to remember as well. Again, for the hosting, again, the situation it was hosted under with the collaboration with the UK and Ukraine, hosting on behalf of Ukraine. And I think they did a really good job of working out the balance of that and celebrating both countries. And it was a special moment for UK fans as well, having it hosted in the UK, being able to go. It gave us Karia, Loreen, a lot of really good entries that year as well. So yeah, it has to be Liverpool and Rotterdam for different reasons, but also similar reasons as well. I will say though, 2022 gave us Sam Ryder, so that deserves recognition as well. Okay, so now I will move on to the questions I got from YouTube from that post on my community page. So thank you again for sending them. I'll start with Abra Lodge. What's your favourite Eurovision song of all time? You can choose two if the studio edit is different from the live performance. I think I actually accidentally answered that earlier on, but I think a lot of people who watch my channel know the answer already. If I had to pick one, my favourite ever, it would be Zakia Bongi by Måneskin. I remember at the time thinking, when you just feel like something has to win, that you watch it and you think that's the winner, there's literally no other option, and it just never gets old, studio version and live version. When it comes on, you just have to turn the volume up and that beat, it just gets me every time. It'll never get old. I absolutely love it, and it is my all-time favourite if I had to pick one. I have got like a group of others that do come close to being my all-time favourite. Maybe I should actually make a list of my all-time favourite Eurovision songs in no particular order. The others would be, well, Cha Cha Cha, it would come close. It would be up there as one of my favourites. Fuego, Calm After the Storm. Yeah, I have got a group of all-time favourites, but Zakia Bongi would be at the top. So Amar has said, what's your opinion on We Will Rave Day? Well, funny enough, I'm actually filming this right now on We Will Rave Day, June the 22nd. For those of you who don't know, because not everyone would know this, it's only if you're on Twitter and TikTok, really. I don't know why this started or who started it, but basically somebody, a fan, decided to celebrate We Will Rave by Colleen this year and get everyone to stream it as much as possible so it would get recognised and become like an international hit. Colleen, she didn't know about this at first. It wasn't her idea, but obviously I imagine she's very appreciative of the support. What do I think of it? I don't know. I don't know why it started, why for this particular song. It's a bit of fun, I suppose, it's just a bit of fun. I don't know what will actually come out of this, if this will actually go viral today. But yeah, I mean, it's all just a bit of fun and light entertainment, I guess. Let's see what happens. So I've got questions from one of my favourite YouTubers, RAJC or Reese Chambers, who actually also does Q&A videos. And I think you did them before me. So I probably copied you, to be honest. So sorry about that. Or I was inspired by you to do them. So yeah, I'm sure a lot of you who follow me probably follow Reese as well. And if you're not, I'd really recommend doing so. One of my favourite Eurovision YouTubers. Really great videos. I've got quite a few questions and they're really good. First one is, which country would you like to see return? I think everyone always talks every year about Turkey coming back, and it never happens, and it probably won't. I quite like to see Montenegro return. Maybe they will in the future, or maybe they don't have the money for it. But it would be nice to see them back because I really loved their entry from 2015. And then after that, it kind of went downhill. But it would be nice to see them come back with another good song, finally, a really nice Balkan song from them. So yeah, maybe that will happen. Bulgaria coming back would be good because when they were involved, they were doing really well at one point. So maybe they'll return. Yeah, I don't have like strong opinions on that really. But yeah, it's always the same countries that a lot of people bring up when we talk about countries returning. Do you have a dream representative for a country that isn't the UK? I've always got my UK wish list every year. But in terms of other countries, I haven't thought about it as much. And especially because a lot of the music I listen to from other countries, the artist is just too well known to do it. Like from Norway, I love Aurora and Sigrid, but they're really famous. Would they do it? Probably not. And it's the same with other countries. The artists that we do know from them are too well known and probably wouldn't do it. I mean, I would like for Italy for LRDL or La Rappresentante di Lista with Ciao Ciao from 2022 from Sanremo. I would love for them to win Sanremo and do Eurovision. So they're still on my wish list. Again, this won't happen, but I like to imagine there's a band from the Netherlands called Within Temptation, a rock band. Imagine if they did it, that would be amazing. But yeah, I don't have like, let's say, realistic ideas. It's mainly too good to be true ideas. Apart from the commentators we already have for the UK, who would you like to see be the commentator for the UK in the future? So obviously we've got Graham Norton, who is an icon. Yeah, he's great. He's hilarious. I can't imagine him not doing it. Of course, at some point he will probably leave. For the semi-finals, we've got Rylan and Scott Mills. Again, perfect. I love them. I can't imagine anybody else doing it. If or when Graham was to leave, I think Rylan should take his place in the final and be the final commentator. That seems the natural thing to do. And I can't imagine anybody else doing it, to be honest, other than Rylan when Graham eventually leaves. Yeah, it's just I can't think of anybody else. And I think what we have now, the setup we have now with Graham doing the final and Rylan and Scott doing the semi-final, I think it's perfect as it is. But yeah, Rylan to take over from Graham I think that's what a lot of people would expect, and I think that would be great. Is there a particular genre you'd like to see more of in the contest? Um, it's hard to explain, but maybe a little bit more indie rock or a bit more folk, maybe a little bit like Iceland 2022. Um, yeah, a little bit more of that, a bit more rap as well. We do get some rap in Eurovision, especially a lot more now. But maybe, yeah, a bit more rap. Um, I do think we have quite a nice range of genres, but I'll always appreciate there being more, maybe even more rock in general, because this year there wasn't that much rock. Or there was, but not as much as previous years. So yeah, I'm always welcome to more genres. I think everyone is really. How often do you listen to Eurovision related music in the summer months or in the off season? Good question. I do. I tend to go on and off throughout the year and go through stages. Whenever the contest finishes, I do spend the next few weeks after that still listening to the songs. I don't just stop completely. I don't think anyone does really. It does carry on for a bit longer, and then maybe like a month after, I might stop for a bit, like now, right now. I do sometimes listen to this year's entries. I listened to Hollow the other day, and I realise again just how good Hollow was this year. And then every now and then I will listen to, a few of the others, but it depends on the outside world, outside of Eurovision, what music is interesting me, and if it is something that I'm getting really interested in, then I will focus more on other music and not Eurovision. And at the moment, there is quite a lot of music out there that's not Eurovision that I am listening to at the moment. So yeah, I have left it a little bit, but it doesn't take me long at all to get back into it. All I need is to hear like one Eurovision song, and then I'm back into it. And then usually, maybe when the autumn comes round, or when we start hearing more about the next year, like the host city, or when September comes around, then I will immediately get right back into it. Do you believe the Netherlands will take part next year with Joost again? With Joost again? No way. I'd be shocked, very surprised if he would want to. Surely he wouldn't want to do it again. He probably wants to forget about the whole thing and leave it behind him. And it's quite sad, really, because he was so passionate about doing this. It was his dream to do this. He was really looking forward to it. And then it just completely went the opposite way. And now he probably wants to just forget all about it. So yeah, I can't imagine he would want to do it again at all, to be honest. But do I think they'll take part next year, and do I want them to? Well, to be honest, I actually hope they don't. I don't want them to, because I'm supporting them. A lot of people are, on their side. And I know just from Twitter, a lot of Dutch fans don't want to take part. They don't want to do it because of what happened. So I don't know if this will actually happen, but I am hoping they don't do it and they don't give them their time, because if they don't do it, I think that would make a big statement. It would make a big impact, and I'd like to think it would make the EBU sit up and think, oh no, what have we done? This is, a problem for us. So I think the Netherlands are one of the biggest contributors outside of the big five, I think. So if they really did withdraw, it would make a big impact, I think. And I would like to see it, even just for 1 year, just, yeah. I do hope they won't do it. And I know that they came out with a statement not long ago, not saying that they're withdrawing, but they were kind of threatening that they're thinking of withdrawing if things don't change. And things might not change. So, yeah, I guess we'll hear very soon, and it'll be really interesting if they don't, and I will support them. I think a lot of other people would too. So do I want them to take part? Not really, rise up against the EBU, I'm on their side. But do I believe that they won't? I won't get my hopes up. Yeah, I'm not sure, but I support them. How many venues or cities that have hosted or staged Eurovision have you been to? Well, in terms of the contest itself, I've been to Liverpool and Malmö now. I haven't been to that many others. I don't know if the venue that hosted Birmingham, I don't know if I've been to that or if that's not even there anymore. But I've been to Birmingham. There's not that many others. I mean, I've been to Athens, but I don't know where the arena is. I've been to Copenhagen now. I think the venue for that was made kind of outside the city somewhere. Yeah, I haven't been to that many others. I mean, I've been, to Paris and Rome in general. But of course, obviously, I've been to Liverpool and Malmö for the contest, so that's 2 that I can tick off. I have been to Bergen in Norway. I nearly forgot about that. That was a while ago. So yeah, not many. Thank you for all of those questions, though. Really good questions. Next one is from Nelson. What's the one thing you learned from this year when it comes to making predictions of potential results? Good question. And I think not just this year, but in general, I think the more that you become a fan, the more that you watch it, the more that time goes by, the more that you realise that there's actually not that much point in making predictions when you first hear a song. You have to wait for the actual live shows when it's on stage, when it's on TV, and then you could maybe make more of a prediction. But until then, I'm realising now that you can't really make predictions just on hearing the song, because everything can change with the staging, the performance. There's things that you think would do well, but they don't. And then it's the opposite as well. You think there's things that you think won't do well, but they actually do. So yeah, I think the more that time goes by, the more I'm learning that there's not much point in making that many, really detailed predictions at first. Sometimes you do get some things right, like this year. I always thought right from the start Austria and Spain would not do well, and they didn't, but other things I got completely wrong. Something from this year that I did notice, though, and something that seems to be happening a little bit more often now, is the female girl bops are not doing that well at the moment. This year they didn't do that well. There were quite a few of them. And Georgia, I thought, deserved better, and I thought it would do better. I wonder if there seems to be a pattern emerging that girl bops are just going off people. I mean, every now and then you do get really good ones like obviously Fuego, Slow-Mo, Unicorn, so they are still there, but maybe when there's so many of them in one year, people just are not interested in them anymore. So I wonder if that is something, a pattern that could be emerging more and more often now, is the fact that girlbots are maybe not as popular now as they used to be. But it depends on the competition around them. And like I said, we've always got ones that are very popular. But yeah, it is something I noticed from this year in particular, that they didn't do as well as some of them were expected to. And finally, one more question from Lucas from Germany, who I met in person at the Amsterdam pre-party. Hello, Lucas. Thank you for sending a question in. Hopefully see you again at another event in the future at some point. So the question from Lucas is, are you happy with the way Eurovision is going for the UK since we switched back to an internal selection? Or do I want a national final for the UK in the future? I think we've been doing internal selections for quite a few years now, since COVID, basically. And I mean, I think we've done quite well with choosing them. I mean, it gave us Sam Ryder, it gave us that moment, the person that we needed all along, Sam Ryder. And also, I think Ollie Alexander, I know that he didn't do that well in the end, but the fact that such a well-known artist wanted to do it and actually put themselves forward to do it is really promising, I think. It shows that the interest was there for it. If we were to go back to a national final, I wouldn't be completely against it. I wouldn't be, mad about it. Maybe just to try it out one more time. But I just think that the quality of music when we did have national selections was not good. It's kind of like Denmark's Melody Grand Prix, but worse. So I wouldn't expect really good things if we did have a national final again, but I wouldn't be completely against it either if we did try it again. I imagine we will carry on with internal selections for a while, because I wouldn't be surprised if the UK team have like a waiting list of people, like a backlog of artists, because I know that Ollie Alexander, apparently he wanted to do it in 2022, and then they got back to him for this year, so he was on like a waiting list and he wanted to do it this year. So they probably have a list of people that they contact every year, like a backlog of artists. So yeah, I imagine we'll continue with internal. Although what we learned this year was that just because you send a really well-known artist doesn't mean that you'll do well. So maybe if we did have a national final, it would be a good way of showcasing smaller talents, not very well-known artists, up-and-coming artists. So maybe it would be a good thing. So that is it. I've gone through all of the questions. That's probably a very long video, so thank you if you did watch the whole thing and stick with me. And thank you once again for sending in the questions. I'll definitely do another one of these at some point, maybe in like a year, a year's time, and maybe one day I will get to 2,000 subscribers. But I don't mind if I don't, because the fact I've got, as many as I have now is still amazing to me. So yeah, thank you for watching all of my videos. So thank you very much for watching and getting involved, and I will be back very soon with another video. I shall see you then. Thank you. Bye.